Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, Austin. Yeah, kids can be like that sometimes. Let me check the audio here. Let me check the. Yep. Okay. We are good. Hey, drop top. All right. So Snacks is going to be on the call tonight. He's not here yet, but he will be. So I decided to do Elden Ring instead because Final Fantasy um, 16 has an actual like story and stuff, and I don't want to lose track of that. Track of because so I'm gonna do Elden Ring because that's a very straightforward game with not a lot of story stuff going on in it. Okay, so we're doing Elden Ring tonight. Punch in a few hours and then peace on out. Hey, looking good. That's gonna be me. Snacks, welcome aboard. Oh, okay, he was here for a second. I can see him in the voice chat, but he's got his mic off, so give him a second. Okay, so I did pick up the map piece. All right. Now, what were we doing? Okay, I think I remember now. Dude, my character looks like a literal pinhead. Like my head is too small. Doesn't look healthy. Anyway. Oh, he's probably taking a phone call right now, but he is here. He'll be on the call a little later. Oh, okay. Snacks is having some technical difficulties, guys. Snacks, if you can hear me, try just restarting Discord. That's what I usually do. Oh god, I hate these things. Oh god, there are two of them. No, get away from me. Let's get out of here. No, no, we're getting out of here. Go, go. I'm not fighting anything that disturbs me to look at. That is the rule. No. These things are horrifying. I am not fighting these pieces of shit. Gross. Oh, no horse? What could that mean? Is that a giant? I'm gonna let those two fight. Oh, shit! Where'd you come from? Oh, crap! I hit the wrong button! Whoa! That's not fair! Where'd you learn to do that? How did that miss? Oh, should not have missed either. Hey, big country. He thought I was going to jump, I think. Very nice. Ooh, Rivers of Blood. I think that's a really good samurai sword. Hold on. Obviously, it won't be as good as what I have, but I could probably upgrade it so that it is. Yeah, maybe. I'll look into it. You spend a lot to upgrade it, but it might be worth it. Like, better than my current samurai sword would be OP as hell. Ooh, is this, please, let this be a golden seed. Or sacred tier, excuse me. Yes, even better, actually. They nerfed it? Okay. Is it better than the katana that I'm using, though? I'm using the one you get right at the start of the game, which I've heard is actually... It's the Uchigatana. The Uchigitana. Okay, super clutch. That is big. I wanted that. This is good, too. Yeah, Snacks. Try... Oh, wait, you don't have Discord on your phone. Shit, I just remembered. Fuck. You don't have another microphone you can use? Like one you can pillage from another computer in the house? That's what I always do. I just go upstairs and pillage stuff. Okay, are those two things ever going to kill each other? They still have full HP. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, that's horrifying. Good evening. Whatever you just did, it worked because I could hear you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I can hear you totally fine. In fact, you sound just like you did on your old mic.
Yeah, because I'm using my old mic.
So the wire is
I
severed, but
I
you're
th-
using it.
I don't know how this works, but as soon as I plugged in my webcam, um the thing started to work.
Huh.
I plugged in my webcam, I'm not even using the webcam. All of a sudden my headset works now.
Even though the wire is severed?
Yes, I do not have the ability to explain this.
That's pretty cool. That's like when the bank makes an error in your favor.
Yeah, for $6.2 billion, and then you spend it all on an attempted coup with a mercenary group who didn't switch sides after all and just give it to your enemy.
I mean, that's what I would do in that scenario. Like, let's all just get rich.
Seriously.
Can we try that in America? Like, try to overthrow the American government and get somebody to give us a bunch of money for it?
Oh, we're all fucked now. But, uh, I mean, that's what they accused, the January 6 people of doing.
Kind of. Except there was no money.
Yeah.
I mean, what foreign countries would have the biggest vested interest in seeing the American government overthrown?
Almost all of them, but specifically Russia and China.
Plenty of money there.
What you have to imagine other nations of the world who oppose the United States, what they would want to have happen is to play off of the political divisiveness and ethnic separations that exist in our country to create the same thing that happened in Yugoslavia, which is a mass inward civil war based upon political and ethnic disagreements, separations, etc., to create balkanization in the United States, because the United States united together as one country of 330 million people with a very strong economy and a very strong military force. That's a very dangerous opponent to deal with if you're Russia or China. But if the United States split up into 5 separate factions, you know, obviously that becomes much easier to deal with. The same way Yugoslavia was much stronger than a Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, Albania. Having to deal with that instead is much easier.
Star Trek when? Real life Star Trek when?
Alright, now here comes the real test and the craziest thing. I'm gonna unplug my webcam and see if my headset continues to work. Test.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And what the fuck? Like, based off of logical deduction, because there's more than one wire, and I see one wire in there is severed.
Yeah.
The only thing I can assume is that the wire that's severed is not critical for either sound or voice transmission, because I can hear you and I sound fine. The only thing I can assume is that my motherboard's USB bay was undergoing some kind of glitch and I just needed to plug something else in there for it to get fixed.
Huh.
It's the only thing I can conclude.
Maybe that second wire is how they upcharge you for equipment. They're like, oh, see, it has 2 wires. That's why you have to pay double.
Well, what I'm assuming is this headset's a very fancy Corsair headset that has a lot of different functions that I don't need and I don't use. In fact, I wouldn't at all be surprised if this had something to do with the RGB function that it's got. Let me check. Yeah, that's what it was. One side of the headset, it has like, it's cool looking, definitely. It's on like a eternal rotation through the RGB spectrum, you know, so it there's a light on each earphone,
Yeah.
and one of them's off. I assumed it was the microphone because my mic wasn't working. I didn't bother to look at the light because, I mean, why would you care?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. That has to be one of the most superfluous things that you can think of. Wearing a headset and having RGB functionality on the earphones. That can't be relevant to you at all because you'll never be capable of seeing it.
Yeah, it's like decals on a car.
Right. That's actually a perfect example. It's for other people to see. This is a headset that's designed for content creators. Only thing I can assume. Otherwise, you're just stupid. I mean, what do I know? I'm just some guy.
But yeah, I was looking earlier with Santi at movies that were coming out later this year that might be worth seeing. And I saw the Napoleon thing, which I hadn't heard anything about. until today. So I was like, yeah, Snacks might be kind of interested in that. So I sent you the link. The thing is, I thought Ridley Scott committed suicide. So I was really surprised when I saw him making a movie.
You might have been thinking of somebody who could have been related to him, maybe, or someone with a similar name. I don't know.
But that is a pretty
Oh,
strong
yeah. I'm reading his Wikipedia right now. Ridley Scott's younger brother Tony, who was also his business partner in their company Scott Free, died on 19th of August 2012 after jumping from the Vincent Thomas Bridge, which spans Los Angeles Harbor.
There we go.
It wasn't suicide because he was depressed or anything. He was 68 years old and he had been fighting cancer for a number of years. He probably knew that it was, he didn't have a lot of time left before the cancer got him, and he just wanted to go out on his own terms. There are much easier and peaceful ways to go than that, especially if, you love your family. It'd be nice to leave something behind for them to, have a funeral over. But, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, there are all kinds of different reasons to commit suicide, like, that aren't necessarily depression. Like, one of the Enron guys committed suicide before he had to testify in front of Congress or whatever.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez committed suicide. Jeez.
Hunter S. Thompson committed suicide because he felt like he was just tired. He was too old.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
Rest in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. That's a Scarecrow Bar. I don't understand the context of what you said. I think I might have missed a large portion of the conversation.
No. Rye Guy was saying he was at work earlier today and there was a British family in there that had really rambunctious kids. And he was saying, like, I thought British families were more, like, refined and strict with their parenting.
Not nowadays.
Okay, that is really starting to get on my nerves. Who is throwing that shit?
Turned out it was literal shit. It's the monkey demon from Sekiro. He's returned.
Oh my god, let me get up, you asshole. Thank you. Dude, we killed each other at the exact same time. We literally, like, that was like in Metal Gear Solid 5. Or, no, Metal Gear Solid 4 when Ocelot and Snake punched each other and knocked each other out at the same time. Like some Rocky movie shit. Yeah, Ridley Scott and Joaquin Phoenix is a pretty good mix. Like, that was literally Gladiator, right? That was Ridley Scott and Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I've got high hopes for it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to be disappointed by it, because I'm disappointed by so many things. But it's nice to feel hopeful for something.
Feels like they really haven't done that much with Napoleon in film, given the fact that he's among the more interesting people who ever lived. You would think they would be tapping into that constantly.
Yes, and I know why. It's because he lost. And Napoleon's focus in media has largely just been about him being beaten because of the influence of the British in the movies that were being made. Because England loves to talk up Napoleon so that they can thump their chests and talk about how they whipped his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people get bored because of that, because seeing how extraordinarily dominant and incredibly talented and competent and extraordinary the man was, you miss a lot of that when you just focus on him losing. But audiences would know that, and that's number one. Number two is that the last time they made a really big budget movie on Napoleon was the movie Waterloo, which performed abysmally at the box office. You can even read, it's in the Wikipedia article for that movie that you sent me, it's talking about Stanley Kubrick was intending to make a movie about Napoleon, which probably would have been amazing because of how good Barry Lyndon was. But he ended up changing his mind because of the movie Waterloo did so badly at the box office. He was all like, well, if people were that upset, you know, and really didn't like Waterloo, I have no reason to believe that, you know, if I make another movie about Napoleon, like right after that movie comes out, I don't think it'd do any better. So instead, the money he had accumulated from investors to work on that movie, he instead shifted production focus to A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Which, as it still was one of the greatest movies ever made, that was the right call.
Yeah. I mean, he
But
never really made any movie that bombed, unless you count like 2001 a bomb because people at the time didn't like it very much.
yeah. All
But
told, it's one of those things where Hollywood goes through phases and cycles, and the more I think on it, the more I'm kind of confused as to why they're making this movie. I mean, because Ridley Scott's making it, I don't really have too much of a fear of an ulterior motive here. But think about it. Does it make sense to you, Hollywood, making a production about a famous European in current year?
I mean, if it's a good, compelling story, yes. I mean, we're getting that movie Oppenheimer in about a month.
And well, that's exactly my point. Good, compelling movie. Does that make sense as being something Hollywood would focus on in current year?
I mean, I know Oppenheimer is thought of from an American perspective, but he was a European, right?
Plus, uh, yeah. Plus, you know, that's a good example too, because Christopher Nolan's not going to get trapped in the whole nonsense, the same way Ridley Scott wouldn't. But it's still one of those. It's like, man, you know, it stands out. But that probably won't amount to anything other than the same thing Dunkirk got, where everyone was just like, "Where's all the black people?"
You know, that actually happened with Final Fantasy 16 as well. Because everyone in the game is white, because the game is meant to, while it takes place in a very much fictional universe, it's meant to imitate Europe. So everyone's white. And some people are throwing a fit about that.
All right.
Pretty amusing.
Very amusing.
Is it true there are black hobbits in the new Lord of the Rings? I don't know, but there is black Aragorn. I know about that.
Yeah, what a disgrace. Because that's actually something else to consider. You ever notice how, whether it be historical figures that actually existed or fantasy figures that have been around for decades, now suddenly being blackwashed and reimagined as being a black character, they're only doing that with protagonists or people who are looked at as being positive historical figures. They never pick someone who's looked at as being a very negative historical figure or having an antagonist be blackwashed.
Yeah. Um,
No.
that's literally what happened with Star Trek Into Darkness. They were uncomfortable making a terrorist be someone with brown skin.
Right, even though the guy's name was Khan Singh,
Yeah.
was literally the character was imagined to be ethnically Indian. But, whatever.
Yeah. Find amusing. People on the far left and the far right are the people who are okay making jokes about the Titanic submarine thing. And people in the
Hmm.
middle are all like, oh, a man died. You shouldn't be joking. That's not okay. They're doing the Norm MacDonald. Plus, a man
Yeah.
died.
You're gonna get in trouble again.
But it's kind of funny. The extremists are the one willing to tell jokes. What does that tell you about the present day? Nothing positive. Well, Scarecrow, The Little Mermaid is a fictional story also. It's not like real life. So just because there was slavery in that time doesn't mean they have to put it in their clearly fictional movie. Like maybe in that fictional universe there was no slavery. I don't know. You know, I guess it is a kids movie, but tell that to the people who actually go and see it. I think a lot of them are man children, honestly. Adult women who are still waiting for their Prince Eric or whatever the hell his name was. And by the way, I told Snacks about this a couple days ago, but Little Mermaid is on pace to make about 500 million at the box office. The three previous major live action Disney remakes all made at least a billion. So Disney is not doing well, guys. Pour one out. Oh, thank God I picked that up in time. That's really fucking annoying, but at least I picked it up in time. Oh, nice. Extra flask. No, I've heard about them. I've never played the hacker games. Honestly, Disney is probably going to about break even on The Little Mermaid, given the fact that how much money they probably spent on the advertising combined with the actual budget. It's probably break even, maybe a little, maybe actually a little bit of a loss. So, rip. Whoa. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? You know, I'm not familiar with any version of Pet Cemetery Scarecrow. It seems like something that would genuinely freak me out. No, thank you. Do not want. Also, I believe Pixar still is owned by Disney. I could be wrong. Pretty sure Pixar owns Disney. And the new Pixar movie is also bombing at the box office. So, not good times.
Yeah, that's if you're an investor in Disney, you're losing your ass, and you're not exactly happy.
The most recent Pixar movie is a very thinly veiled allegory and metaphor for immigration as well. So this isn't just the case of like, oh, they made a bad movie. No, there was a clear agenda here. And it didn't work.
God.
I hate this. Yeah, I mean, the Oscars have been a joke for a while now, ever since we learned about the Weinstein stuff. But now, it's nice to know that we can really just never take the Oscars seriously ever again. Like, it's pretty much a done deal. That's kind of nice. I used to like the Oscars, too.
Yeah. Now all you've got is Will Smith smacking Chris Rock while Al Pacino keeps talking about his chocolate blend.
Oh, we were actually talking about Al Pacino in the chat last night for an unrelated reason. He recently became a father at the age of 84, I think it was.
Wow. That's insane, because Al Pacino's got to croak like any minute. Not to be horribly morbid, but I mean, I can't imagine him living very much longer.
Yeah.
The kid may not even end up having any memories of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hey, family's family.
At the very least, I'm sure the kid is going to be set up to have a very good life. So, could be worse. And on basically the same day, I saw a report about how Jennifer Aniston's attempts to become impregnated at 53 have finally ended in failure, and she's basically thrown in the towel.
That's amazing. Jennifer Aniston doesn't have any kid,
Correct.
right?
Yes, she's been trying to start a family
Good.
for a very long time, and
Good.
now it's over.
The reason I keep saying good is because give me a second here. I'll go on with my rant in a second. I just got something to do here. Hold on.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Well, actually, you know what? That's fine. I don't do damage to this guy that quickly, though. This is going to take a while. Oh! I think the play is just to stay underneath him. Starting to think my shield doesn't really do anything. Oh, what makes him shitty, big country? Is he, like, really hard to beat? Or does he suck at fighting?
Anyway, So the reason I say it's good that Jennifer Aniston never had any kids is because if you think back to her career, you know, her time with Friends and all that kind of shit, you know, her stupid relationship with Brad Pitt and all that kind of crap, she was a big part of like a lot of the 90s girl power career woman push. And the media that she starred in was, you know, she was a big part of that kind of thing. I mean, she wasn't in Sex and the City, but the same women who loved Sex and the City lived up to that kind of thing. They looked up to Jennifer Aniston, and they really identified with her and her character Rachel and Friends and all that kind of shit. And I'm all like, any woman who was part of that cultural shift and trying to make that not just accepted and normalized, but also to become the norm, every single one of them deserved to end up childless and miserable and alone and lonely.
I guess that actually makes it kind of ironic, because she has wanted to start a family for a long time and hasn't been able to. So I guess the whole
You get
thing
what you
is
fucking deserve.
the whole thing is rather ironic.
You get what you fucking deserve. Because, like, a lot of these women come out there with colossal fucking gigacopes, where they sit there and say there's in vitro fertilization and all that kind of crazy shit. You can freeze your eggs and you can have a kid, you know, anytime you want, and blah blah blah. And it's all like, best chance you have to have a child biologically in teens and 20s. That's it. As soon as you hit 30, you can still have a kid, but every additional year after that, it gets harder and harder and harder. Until eventually, there's just no fucking guarantee that even the most advanced medical science we have access to nowadays, the in vitro fertilization, all that kind of shit, there's no guarantee it'd even work.
Yeah, that's what she was trying, and it did not work.
Right.
IVF. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's all like, this is what you get because you waited too long. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. You decided not to have a kid when you had the chance, when it would have been easy. You get what you fucking deserve.
When you think about it, other than Friends, all she did in her career was make shitty movies. She never, unless you count Office Space, she never made a good movie, now that I think about it.
Yeah, because she was a TV actress. That's the thing, is that when you have a really successful career in television,
Mm-hmm.
it's no guarantee you're going to have a successful career in film. And at times it can be very hard, because TV and movies are very different. It's not like you need different talents, but people can get behind you and root for you when they have a longer amount of time that they can spend with you, as opposed to, you know, maybe you're just not able to draw that kind of same attention and sympathy quickly like you'd need to in a movie. So the examples that I think of are all the people who were in Game of Thrones, the young folks, you know, who grew up with that. Sophie Turner and Kit Harington basically had, you know, and Amelia Clark too. They basically had leading roles in the show for fucking the better part of a decade. And yet, when you look at their film career, now they've had a film career, but in exactly the same way that you're talking about. It's like they weren't anything good, you know. Sophie Turner's biggest success is being part of really bad X-Men movies. Kit Harington's been in some real stinker action films. And Amelia Clarke, the biggest thing she did was be the new generation Sarah Connor, but it sucks.
They gave up after one movie.
Exactly.
And she was in Solo, which was a huge bomb, actually. Even though the movie got decent reviews, it was a financial disaster. That was Amelia Clarke, right? I am thinking of the right girl.
Yes, I forgot that she was in Solo. But you're right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks of Office Space as being a Jennifer Aniston movie anyway, so, like, it's easy to forget she's in that movie. I feel like every scene with her in that movie is completely superfluous to the point and plot of that film. Now that I think about it. Like, if anything, Jennifer Aniston in the movie disarms the point of the movie. Like, the whole point is this guy's life sucks. How does your life suck if you're dating Jennifer Aniston?
Right.
You've got nothing to complain about. And he gets to do 15 minutes of work a week and still make a full salary. What was that guy bitching about?
Yeah, I mean,
And I understand he felt unfulfilled, but whatever.
and that's the point. And that's why it's such a big 90s hit. Is that back then people still thought you find fulfillment in your life with work. Your life is the 5 to 9, not the 9 to 5. You go to work to get a paycheck. And if your job is easy and you're getting paid a lot, like, obviously, if Peter didn't have his attitude turnaround, he would have been part of the layoffs. Because that's just what the company was doing. However, well, his friends landed on their feet, and he would have too.
Mm-hmm.
But exactly what you're talking about, you know, like, your girlfriend's Jennifer Aniston, you know, you've got a really nice neighbor who's a really good friend of yours, your job is fucking easy, and you're making plenty of money. What's the problem? He just needed to find fulfillment outside of work, and a lot of people don't. And a lot of people really didn't back then. That's, you know, that's why it's the quintessential 90s office culture movie.
Nowadays, there are a lot of people who would kill to have a meaningless job that pays them well for no work that makes them feel unfulfilled. At least it's work.
Yeah, no, I'd fucking love to have that. Because, like, that's... job I have right now is extremely easy. I barely have to work, and I'm in no danger of losing it. It doesn't pay well, but if it did, I'd be like, I'm fucking set, man. I'll fucking park my ass here and plant roots and work this job forever, man. Fuck. I was getting paid the kind of money he's making. He's got to be making like the equivalent salary in the 90s. The equivalent salary to where if he'd been making like $30 an hour,
Yeah.
at least.
Scarecrow, definitely Jennifer Aniston. I don't think Emilia Clarke is particularly attractive. Not really my thing.
Yeah, I don't think she's attractive either. She relies on makeup a lot more than a lot of other Hollywood starlets. And, you know, wearing makeup, obviously, it's not the worst thing in the world, and, you know, it is what it is and all that kind of shit, but, like, Emilia Clarke, not so much. Aniston did a nude scene.
Did you do the diarrhea scene? That's the thing that really matters here.
Emilia Clarke didn't do that one either, sadly.
Like, Jeff Daniels claimed that his career basically got derailed by the diarrhea scene in Dumb and Dumber. Like, that scene made it impossible for anyone to take him seriously as an actor for, like, years. So imagine if Emilia Clarke did her diarrhea scene for Game of Thrones.
She would have become the most famous and highly requested actress. And,
Yeah, the same communities that made Two Girls, One Cup.
Lamau.
Well, Miss Clarke, we've gotten a lot of calls, but you're going to want to sit down for this one.
Okay, okay, Jennifer Aniston did a few topless scenes. It's really nothing special.
Yeah, but I would take her over Emilia Clarke.
Obviously. And, yeah, like, she's fairly old now. Like you said, she's 53, right?
53, 54, something like that.
Well, a couple years ago, there were some pictures of her on a nude beach that came out, and she looks like a fucking grandma, dude. And it's like, ugh. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe more than any other woman who ever existed, she kind of embodies the whole basic bitch thing, right? Like, very generic looking. Maybe because she was there before a lot of the other blonde white girls in modern day. Like, very basic, but effective. You'll fucking remember in the NBAB Discord, every week during the final season of Game of Thrones, people were bitching about how bad it was. And then Ham was in there and he kept being like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is great, man. It was pretty fucking funny.
Good times.
Dude, come back here. Stop running away from me like a dick. Yeah, the Rachel haircut was a phenomenon. I remember reading about that Scarecrow. Yeah. My parents frequently just kind of leave the TV on with Friends on because it's like they air it on TBS on basically a 24-hour cycle. So I
Mhm.
end up like watching a lot of it without really watching it. Like, it's just on the TV in the background when I'm going through the room or whatever. It's kind of amazing how often the episode there's like no joke. There's no actual punchline. They just say a line and then the laugh track plays. Like I noticed that happening a lot.
Yeah, now, I like Matthew Perry and I like David Schwimmer. The two of them both proved outside of Friends that they really had talent and
Hmm.
they knew what it took to succeed. However, Friends definitely is like a prototype for uh, Big Bang Theory kind of shit. Because, oof.
It's just like say the line, play the laugh track. I noticed a shocking amount of that.
Yeah, and especially from the female characters. You know, because like this whole thing we've been talking about is like, okay, Jennifer Aniston's not really all that talented. She just happened to be considered for quite a while there, but she was considered to be the most attractive woman in Hollywood in her day.
Hmm.
And Courtney Cox was up there also in terms of being considered very attractive, but you look at her career and she also has really struggled to find any kind of success outside of Friends. She didn't really have a ton of talent. Lisa Kudrow is pretty much the biggest example therein of not really having much talent and not really being considered very overly attractive either, because her fucking career was complete
Yeah.
nothingness. But anyway, um,
Even fucking Michael Richards couldn't figure it out, and he's way more talented than any of them. Ain't.
right.
Mhm.
But one of the most baffling things to me about Friends was the character Janice was supposed to be so hated, and she was supposed to be obnoxious, and like, you know, she'd show up and you'd be like, oh my god, all this kind of crap. But like, aside from the fact that she was very attractive, her voice wasn't even that annoying. Like the laugh was annoying and shit like that, but she also was a good person.
Yeah.
And it's all like, really, just the laugh being the only thing here is being like, oh god, how could you? Like, when you go back and rewatch that shit, you realize that all those people were terrible people,
Yeah,
which
I mean,
explains why they were friends,
yeah.
but still.
I mean, that's like the difference between Seinfeld and Friends, right? In Seinfeld, they were self aware of the fact that they were terrible people, and in Friends, they weren't. They thought they were good people. Like, Seinfeld, everybody in that show's a bad person, but the showrunners are aware of that, and that's the joke. Whereas in something like Friends, they don't realize that that's the joke, that these are all garbage people. But yeah, you're right. You're right about the Janice thing. I agree. It's like, actually, yesterday when I was dog watching, I was watching My Cousin Vinny. It was on TV. Like, fucking Marissa Tomei's voice in that movie isn't any more annoying, I don't think, than Janice's voice in Friends.
Right, that's just Exactly, that's just the New York accent. Plus, Marissa Tomei is a smoke show. She was back then, and she still is now, and at every time period in between. However, Marissa Tomei very easily could have been cast in that exact same role as Janice on Friends. All they needed was an Italian brunette who had that accent. Or the ability to do that accent, I mean.
Though it would be fair to say that you like dark-haired women, right?
Yes.
I remember that was Ron Swanson, his big thing in Parks and Recreation. He liked dark-haired women. Oh, I can use my Ash summons here. I'll try that if I die again. Which I probably will because of those fucking homing meteors. That's going to help immensely. Jesus. What do you think of this boss? He's, not too hard, not too easy, kind of right in the middle, I'd say. Feels like it's doable at my current level, but it's not going to be easy. Hopefully my Ash summon that I'm going to try to whip out here helps. Just asking to get burnt. I'm Clark Kellogg.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm...
Oh, are you kidding me? I jumped into the air and he fucking hugged me. How is that a jump ball? Oh, God.
God.
There we go.
Say hello to my chocolate blend. No, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong button. God damn it. Ah, that move needs to fuck off. And the Mimic doesn't do shit in this fight. The Mimic doesn't really do anything, unfortunately. I mean, it's better than nothing, but goddamn. This is not good. I'm not happy. So apparently one of the passengers on the submarine was a 19-year-old kid who was the son of the 50-year-old guy who was also the tourist. Like, you're just a bad father if you let your 19-year-old kid get on a submarine like that, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Like, god fucking damn.
What, are you really surprised that a super gazillionaire's a bad father?
No, but I thought he would have some self-preservation.
It's just, like, being so obscenely rich that you genuinely don't think anything bad could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
And it's very stupid, but...
If he had raised a gamer, he would have been okay. Because a gamer would have known that was a Mad Catz PlayStation 3 knockoff controller and been
Seriously.
like, I'm not getting on this fucking thing.
Exactly. It'd have been like, that's the controller you hand to your little brother to make sure he loses.
I'm part West African. I can say the N-word if I want to.
Dude, fuck off. Seriously?
Yeah, I saw another webcomic earlier today that referenced the whole smoke detector alarm thing. And, like, I'd never heard of this meme until I asked you the other day. I missed out on this one, but what a weird fucking thing to not do. Like, what a massive inconvenience it is to have your smoke detector alarm going off all the time. Hello, base department? Yeah, take a seat. You ain't gonna believe this one. Yeah, Scarecrow. Well, to be clear, Scarecrow Bar, it's not so much a thing about thinking that super wealthy people are evil in this case, so much as just thinking that they're not familiar with how the world works. It's kind of like George Bush the senior, Herbert Walker Bush, went into a supermarket one time when he was president and he didn't know what the barcode scanner was. Like, he looked at it and was like, what's this supposed to be? Is this a gun? Do I shoot people with it? Stuff like that. And what I was saying was that any gamer would have known what that controller is and been like, I'm not getting on a submarine that uses a fucking off-brand controller to control itself.
Yeah, and that was actually something that I tried to explain to people in real life who were talking about that kind of thing, being like, oh, it's so stupid. I was all like, well, imagine you're a super rich person. You wouldn't see that and see that it looks like a knockoff video game controller that this guy probably scrounged off of eBay for $2. You'd look at it and think, wow, what a nifty little futuristic style device. This must be a really high-tech submarine. And when the guy sits there and tells you, yeah, we've already done this a number of times before, you're not sitting there thinking, this submarine looks like a hunk of shit and its hull is made out of a carbon fiber composite. We're all gonna fucking die. Instead, what you're thinking is, oh, well, he really knows what he's doing. Carbon fiber, wow, this must be the material of the future. Like, U.S. Navy subs that are made out of titanium don't go deeper than 5,000 feet. Not because they strictly can't, but because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a thing where when you're super rich, that's what you need to do in order to feel like some sense of danger. Like some excitement in your life. Your life is so boring and you have no problems. So you have to do stupid shit like that in order to feel alive. I don't know.
I don't even think it's that so much as rich people used to have handlers who'd tell them when they were coming up with a bad idea. They used to listen, but not anymore. Because these, you know, they're very far removed while at the same time not being removed enough. And what I mean by that is, you think back in the day to guys like, you know, the really big ones, you know, like your J.P. Morgan, your Andrew Carnegie, whichever one it was that did U.S. Steel. I'm fucking drawing a blank. But the other guy. And there, you know, they were the self-made gazillionaires, you know, the fucking, Charles Foster Kane types.
Yeah.
And they, having come up from reality, from everyday people, would know to listen to their handlers in situations like that, even if they didn't have the ability to know better themselves. And very old money, who comes from, you know, an ancient lineage, you know, the real blue bloods kind of shit like that, you know, they've had generations of servants enough to know you listen to the guy. That's his job. That's what he's here for. Just because he's giving you advice doesn't mean that he's not still providing you service. But what we have in the case of the Titanic submarine and the people who died there is the folks right in between. They're not the self-made folks who created the wealth. And they're not the old money. They're more like 4th or 5th generation super rich person. They think that they know better than everybody else, and that everyone else on the earth is just fucking pointless. They shouldn't even be here. They're just getting in my way. Who the fuck cares about them? When even someone like Paris Hilton is more grounded than you are, that is really saying something, you know?
Mm-hmm. This is why I don't do anything risky ever. The riskiest thing I ever did was ride in one of my coworkers' cars that was like one of those Japanese cars that probably weighed like 80 pounds. Because it was all made of like aluminum that would crunch like a fucking soda can if it got in an accident. And this guy drove like a crazy motherfucker too. It was terrifying. But I lived. He was one of those guys that had the detector in his car that would tell him when there was a radar gun in the area, so he would know when to slam the brakes. It was like, oh my god, dude.
Let me tell you something, I'd actually really like an app that would fucking start giving you a sound effect, you know, blaring off if you have a radar gun in the vicinity. I'm like, that'd actually be really fucking helpful, because I don't get into trouble like where I'm driving 120 in a school zone. I'm not a retard. I've only gotten 2 speeding tickets in my life, and both times it was because I got caught in a speed trap. Knowing a speed trap is coming up, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if I knew the speed trap was there, I'd have saved myself.
Right.
Even though it's only 2 tickets, though still, like, obviously it's not a good thing to have to fucking pay a ticket. It's not helpful.
I'm not sure exactly what the final boss is in this game, honestly.
That would be pretty difficult to be able to have an app like it's like if you made an app like that and you just had like a small amount of advertisements on it, you'd still be a millionaire from it, because fucking everybody would want that app. But that app wouldn't be allowed to stay on stores, I think, because it would be able to track equipment used by law enforcement.
Yeah. This guy didn't have an app. This guy had a device.
Yeah, well, anything that can track equipment used by law enforcement is probably, even if there's not a law against it, if cops caught you with it, you'd probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have a good day.
Oh, damn it. My Mimic died. I could have used him. Here. Maybe I should wait to summon him.
Man, Tim Duncan is so good. It's so easy to download. That ball don't lie.
We are close, people. It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
What's my name? Ducachino. I love that comment. Say hello to my chocolate blend. Sounds like something Duke would say.
No, you fucker. Oh my god, he just started spamming the... Okay, you know what? I'm summoning help for this fucker. Go ahead.
Never mind.
I know where you were going with that, by the way. And it was very fun. You know, I looked it up the other day. There's no Dunkin' Donuts in my area.
There's a Dunkin' Donuts very close to me. However, I'm really excited. Next month, a Krispy Kreme is going to open right across the street from my work.
Oh, nice.
I much prefer Krispy Kreme to Dunkin' Donuts.
I've never had Dunkin' Donuts, so I have no idea what I prefer.
Well,
but
Dunkin's not bad. It's very similar to Krispy Kreme, because at the end of the day, they're both essentially fast food donuts. But what I will say is this: Krispy Kreme has the superior donuts, but we're talking about like on a 10 scale. Krispy Kreme would be maybe 1 or 2 points higher. They're still better, but it's not that big a difference. But Dunkin' Donuts has by far the better coffee to the point where it's like not even close. Dunkin' Donuts' coffee is on another level.
I don't drink coffee, so that wouldn't do much for me. We do have
Well,
Krispy Kremes
yeah.
around here.
Then I would just stick with Krispy Kreme because the whole appeal to Dunkin' Donuts, like it's literally in the name. The coffee is so good, and you dunk the donuts in the coffee, like it's literally in the name.
See any summon signs? You gotta be kidding me. I can't summon any fucking help here, of all places? This place is literally made for summons. Fuck off. Whatever. Okay, this time I'm not gonna summon him until the second phase and see if that helps.
No, it's kind of funny because Tim's rookie year here, or I'm sorry, this isn't his rookie year. It's his sophomore season. Um, he's really not averaging a lot of blocks, and it's not because he's not good. It's not because he doesn't have high stats. It's because any time the defense is set up for Duncan to have a chance to block it, David Robinson comes in and gets the block instead. He's got 7 blocks this game. Tim has 1.
Oh, he's sniping.
But
What an
right,
asshole.
pretty much, and it's because even though David Robinson's older, he's a little taller, he's slightly longer in limb, and he's a lot more athletic. So I think 2K just says, well, David Robinson should be getting the fucking shit, but like Duncan easily gets the rebounds, so it's not even an issue. It's just kind of crazy because I'm like, well, as soon as David Robinson retires, Duncan's gonna have crazy blocks. But it just fun stuff.
Remember when Nate Robinson blocked Yao Ming at the rim?
Yes.
That was pretty crazy.
What was Robert Horry commit so many fouls? Good lord. I bought him live.
Say hello to my chocolate blend. That's actually a great point. Somebody should mod that into the last Duke Nukem game.
One of my favorite Duke Nukem lines ever, and this is why I actually do appreciate Duke Nukem Forever because it gave us this line, is you can pick up turds in the game if they're in the environment. You have the ability to pick them up, and generally Duke reacts like you'd expect. He's all like, ew, gross, why would I do this? What kind of sick motherfucker picks up wet feces? But one of the lines he can say is, a turd in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Oh god, what does that imply?
And I just love it. It's one of my favorite lines in a video game ever, so I'm glad.
Like something
You got
George
that.
R. R. Martin would write.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's almost difficult for me to say bird in the hand instead, because I always want to say fucking turd man. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I didn't hate Duke Nukem Forever. I just didn't think it was really worth all that much. It was just kind of like
Yeah, it was exactly. It was a substandard game. There's plenty of substandard games out there, but Duke Nukem Forever is remembered as being terrible because it was a substandard game that had such hype and such a long waiting period. However, there have been deep dives into the older builds of Duke Nukem Forever and what was planned before Gearbox took it over, and that game would have actually been fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So, Gearbox and Randy Pitchford fucked yet another thing up. What are you gonna do?
And that happens so much. Like, they're like, oh, the real version of this thing was gonna be great, but the version we actually made sucks. Like, the Suicide Squad movie that was like, the director was like, yeah, it's too bad the studio butchered the movie that I wanted to make.
Well, that's because with Duke Nukem Forever, what I'm talking about is that the original developer had a great idea in mind, and then their company went under, and that's what caused Duke Nukem Forever to be in development hell in the first place. Is because the guys making it went under, and then another company took over, and they were working on it, and then they went under, and then finally Gearbox got around to it, and they basically scrapped the whole fucking thing and went back to the drawing board and came up with a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, if it hadn't have been for the first two companies going under, because the second company was actually trying to continue with what the first company was doing, that game looked like it would have been amazing. But in order for Gearbox to continue trying to make that game, then they would have needed to continue on what was essentially PlayStation 2 era graphics, which was not going to be acceptable. Because Duke Nukem Forever came out at the end of the PS3's and the 360's life cycle, to where we were just about to get the PS4 and the Xbox One. So by that point, taking 7 or 8 years of a step backwards visually wouldn't have been acceptable.
The funny thing is, the Duke Nukem Forever that they made still pretty much looked like shit. Like, I remember the graphics were, like, bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what did it matter in the end?
Yeah, they fucked basically everything up that they could have possibly fucked up. It was non-stop garbage. From start to finish.
Remember the breeding slaves in that game? Like, there was that one level you got to,
Yeah,
there
that
were
was
a bunch
great.
of, like, pregnant women that were being kept prisoner in there.
Yeah.
And that was a low point.
Yeah, it was a low point that wasn't a bigger focus of the game. I agree.
Well, you know what I always say about pregnant women.
I don't think you've ever spoken about pregnant women before. I don't know what the...
No, remember that thing I said? It was like, there's something so empowering about with a single burst of your seed being able to...
Oh, right, yeah. Exactly.
And then I said that to Moogle, and he was like, dude, what the fuck? The fuck is wrong with you?
You're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I post on Reddit.
Oh my god, he's rolling around like a toddler. Knock it off.
I'm Pickery.
Yeah,
That's what he was
literally,
saying,
he's
right?
doing a pickle Rick. my god, dude. Knock it off.
All
Knock
right.
it off.
We absolutely obliterated the fucking 90s Warriors. Holy shit.
Are you talking about like the good 90s Warriors with Run TMC or the shitty's 90s Warriors?
They sort of have Run TMC because they do have Tim Hardaway on this team still. They picked up Detlef Schrempf. They got Chris Mullen, of course. They also have Juwan Howard and Drazen Petrovic
Petrovic
rounding
was
out.
nice.
Yeah, so that's a really fucking solid starting lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
You've got Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullen, Drazen Petrovic, Juwan Howard, and Detlef Schrempf. That's a really solid starting five. However, we shat on this team to such an insane extent, we won 96-58. By the way, I actually really like the Spurs team that I put together. I got Tim Duncan, David Robinson. I got Sean Elliott, who was there, a big-time small forward for him for a number of years. I got him coming off the bench, like sort of like in a Manu Ginobili role, because we really needed help with the bench. I signed John Starks in free agency before I even drafted Duncan, so he's actually been pretty good. Like, he's fairly reliable. And Robert Horry. I was able to draft him successfully, and let me tell you, he develops into a really amazing three-point shooter just on his own.
Yeah, he does.
Also, Byron Russell, of famed push-off MJ game winner fame.
Yeah.
Also ended up drafting him. He's really solid for us. I've also got Larry Hughes, Rick Fox, Fred Hoiberg, and Sam Cassell, Danielle Marshall, rounding out my bench. It's a solid squad. Because, I mean, even 2K agrees that it's a solid squad, because I've been simming most of the season. This is the first game after the All-Star break I'm playing. We're 38-14.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit?
And 2K thinks we're doing pretty good.
Who would want to lick a stamp that has Bill Clinton on it?
Remember when he drove in a birthplace of Bill Clinton, and then he locks the doors. I was just sitting there like, what the hell was he doing driving around not having his doors locked? Ooh, man. Like, the Warriors were playing some seriously crazy fast break offense, too. That's the crazy shit, man. We had 70 shot attempts all game. They had 92. They shot 25% from the field. Our defense was excruciating. They were 0 for 15 from 3. Fuck. Good lord.
Yeah, that's like almost as that's like more than half of what the Houston Rockets did. Now, so Tuesday, I'm actually haven't done this in a long time. I'm gonna go get some blood work done. I think they want to check to see if like my cholesterol and stuff. So hopefully I pass the test. I'm trying to not eat like a pig in the couple of weeks before I go, which I guess is kind of like cheating on the test.
It's not necessarily like cheating on the test, because you can't undo lifestyle decisions and choices based off of a few days of abstaining from things that are bad. And in fact, the reverse is more damaging, because you can actually spike those levels Let's say right before you go, you get the greasiest fast food meal you can imagine, and you eat like a pig and like absolutely stuff yourself to the point where you need to be rolled in to the fucking exam room.
Mm-hmm.
You can spike all of those levels, and they'll give you false readings. So what you're doing is actually what you're supposed to do. Because if you have a serious like blood pressure issue, high cholesterol problem, shit like that, and you need to do everything you can to bring down the possibility for that to be a false positive, spike based off of you're responsible in the days leading up to it. Because if you have really high cholesterol, then if you just like ate nothing but oats for the next few days, you barely ate at all, mostly fasting and drinking only water, then you'll still show having high cholesterol, and they need to know about that. But if you had low cholesterol, but you ate like a ton of Big Macs right before you went, you'd still be through the fucking roof.
Huh. Interesting.
Also, for some reason, Patrick Ewing's on the Blazers.
Oh man, he's definitely gonna break his leg now. Put him on that team. Talented
Uh,
centers.
I wanted to have the whole Spurs run through with Duncan and all them that I wanted to do. Actually turned injuries off because I wanted to league wide, because I wanted to be like, without injuries, I want to see what happens. Just let everybody go. So even Shaq's out here playing 82 games a season.
No load management. You turn load management off.
Basically, like the only reason a player wouldn't play 82 games is because they weren't important enough in the lineup to actually play. But what's crazy is that the best team in the NBA is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I'll tell you why. In the same year, Joker, in the same year, in free agency, the Timberwolves signed Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan in 1995.
That's just unfair.
Yeah, they are absolutely an insane team.
How do they manage
Now,
that?
I really don't know, but it's the most amazing thing that I've witnessed occur in 2K in terms of what the AI managed in free agency. Now, the top two teams in the Western Conference is me and that Timberwolves team. And the best team in the Eastern Conference is the Washington Wizards because they drafted Kobe, and he is going fucking insane. He really doesn't have much of a supporting cast either, but he is balling out to such an extent that it doesn't matter. Like, he's got White Chocolate, Antoine Walker, Jeff Hornacek, and then like a bunch of fucking AI generated players along with Purvis Ellison. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, Purvis Ellison. I remember him.
And he's still out of service Purvis, and he's still balling out. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's 1999, and Kevin McHale's still playing.
God fucking cocksucker, motherfucker.
It's 1999. Kevin McHale is still an 84 overall. God damn.
Well, he probably would have played that long if his foot didn't break.
Now check this out. The Chicago Bulls are the second best team in the Eastern Conference, right behind the Wizards. Because the Wizards are 39 and 11, the Bulls are 38 and 12. Listen to this Bulls team. Mike Bibby. They drafted Allen Iverson, Glenn Rice, Horace Grant, and Gary Trent. I think Gary Trent may be a computer-generated player. It looks like it.
Oh shit, I gotta go. 1 second. Be right back.
All right. All right.
Be right back, guys. Okay. I am back. Okay.
Welcome. So this was funny. Tyron Lue's on the same team as Iverson. They're both on the Bulls together.
Well,
I
that's
thought
pretty
that
cool.
was amusing.
It is. It is.
Ouch. So let's take a look at the standings. So we finished the season 56 and 26 with the best record in the West, second best in the league. Best record in the league ended up being the Chicago Bulls. Allen Iverson really fucking popped off that badly. How about that? And evidently Kobe's insane production early on fell off a cliff. They dropped to 40 and 42.
Did they
Wow.
make the playoffs?
Yeah, they barely squeaked in, literally by one game, as the 8th seed. Goddamn. That is nuts.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Expected.
Motherfucker. Alright, I don't know if that was a good idea, but we're trying it. Whatever. Oh my god, dude. God fucking damn it, dude. This is so fucking brutal. A fucking minute. There's an NPC summoned for this fight? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, where is it? It's not near the entrance. Well, I don't see it, so... Maybe there's something special I had to do. I don't know, Rye Guy. That was a long time ago, dude. I don't know. No, Snacks is still on the call. Are you fucking kidding
What?
me? No,
Why do
nothing.
they think I'm them?
No, no one thought you... Somebody asked, are you still on the call? Jesus Christ, dude. Oh. No, I'm gonna be out of here before Snacks is tonight for sure. What the hell? Dude, I can't land any fucking hits. He won't stop fucking moving. How did that hit me? I'm right underneath his ding-dong.
Yeah, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, guys.
Sorry. Never. How's Duncan doing in the playoffs? Damn, son. 3 blocks a game in the playoffs. That's fucking good.
One of the weirdest statistical anomalies ever is that the first year of Dikembe Mutombo's career, he averaged like 6 blocks a game, and then after that, it fell all the way to like 3. It never really got higher than like 3.5.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those, like, it's not stat padding, because it's hard to stat pad that kind of thing. It's more the lack of respect, because they didn't know what he was capable of yet. And then realizing, if I just go straight at him, he's going to block my shot.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's kind of like when they figured out Jeremy Lin can't dribble with his left hand.
Yeah. Where, it's not that, because Jeremy Lin actually did great in fucking Houston when he was reunited with D'Antoni, playing alongside Harden, because he had the ability to he had teammates whose strengths played off of his, and his strengths played off of theirs. The thing that made Lin suck was pairing him up with fucking Carmelo Anthony. As soon as Melo came back, the whole thing went to shit. And after he left Houston, he was still a worthwhile contributor to all those different teams that he was a part of. But it's just that teams didn't really know what they had with him and didn't know how to use him. And generally he ended up getting used the same way that a lot of players do, where they have the ability to succeed in the right situations and they can fucking ball out, but you need to actually put them into the situation to succeed and win. Like, I guarantee you this, man. All the Heat role players who did amazing and contributed a lot to the postseason run this year, they'll get paid, and more than a couple of them will end up leaving because they'll get offered huge deals with other teams somewhere else, and they'll never look as good again because those teams will not understand what they have with them in terms of, okay, he's good when you do X with him, and he's bad when you try to do anything else. So put him into the situation to succeed, and not just like, you know, ram your head against a fucking brick wall and think, well, D should be able to be good at everything. They'll end up in a situation where they're a bad fit with a bad coach who doesn't know how to put them into positions to succeed, and then they're never gonna look that good again. And then that'll help contribute to the narrative that this season was a fluke for Miami. But the guys who stay will continue to look exactly as good.
Like everybody who got to play with Steve Nash when he was in Phoenix looked better than they actually were, and then they would go other places and not look nearly as good. It's the same idea. So.
Exactly. Because, like, Sean Marion was an excellent defender, and he was competent offensively, but he never looked as good offensively as he did in Phoenix. You know, even when he had the incredible championship run he was a part of with Dallas, he just wasn't contributing the same way.
Like, Rajah Bell was never as good as he was in Phoenix. Anywhere else.
Yeah. Which was sad. He looked really good in Phoenix.
Poor man's Bruce Bowen.
Oh, speaking of which, I was devastated. Bruce Bowen's not in 2K23.
Why?
Well, he was undrafted, and he's just not part of that draft class. Like, Ben Wallace, for what it's worth. Undrafted players, I don't think they show up. Ben Wallace is there when you play in the Kobe era where you start in 2002, because he's already in the league. But it's 1999, he should fucking be here by now, shouldn't he? Fuck, when was Ben Wallace drafted?
Wasn't he on Washington?
Of course he was undrafted, but what was his first year? I mean, his first season was 1996, so he should be in the fucking league, but he's not.
Huh. Wonder if you can inject him into the league. I mean, that's basically what happened to him in real life, right? Because he was undrafted. So you could just create the player and drop him in the free agency pool.
Ugh. Yeah.
The league doesn't feel the same without Ben Wallace, though. He was literally... He's in the conversation for best defensive player of the modern era. Like, the league is not the same without him.
Well, I completely agree with you. The league's not the same without a lot of the people who are missing. Ben Wallace being gone sucks, but regardless of him being gone for one era, he's still there when you just start later on, because they just didn't put him into the draft class for whatever dumbass reason, so he's not able to show up. But Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller will never appear. You know, they're just gone forever, which is really shitty.
I'm sure somebody out there has made, like, a Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller clone that you can just inject. Maybe only on the PC version, though.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is I'm like, I don't know how to do that shit on the Xbox, so I'm just...
Yeah. One guy actually hacked his 2K and made it so you could make, like, a 30-foot tall player.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Pretty good.
His name's Vector Wembanyama.
Webb and Yama.
Webstedge and Yama.
Two worst posters in the history of the NBAP.
Exactly.
There's no way this guy's going to end up being a good NBA player now. When you think about it like
Cursed.
that.
When you think about it even more, he damn near ended up in Charlotte. That would have been really funny.
Guys, I'm sorry, I can't actually dunk on a 10-foot rim. Okay, I give up on fighting this fucking guy. Fuck that. He's a piece of shit. Yeah, right, guy, exactly. Like, even if Webb had done something like that, people would have respected it. If he had just dunked on, like, a fucking Dollar Tree basketball hoop that you hang on the back of your door. Like, people would have been like, okay, fine. Good
Yeah.
enough. But he couldn't even do that.
He's so pathetic that fucking 7 years after Leave Forever bet he's still there. Like almost everyone who originally posted there is gone. Like what's even the point?
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, think about it. The whole point to posting on an internet forum is to be able to talk with other people. So like if everyone worth talking to is gone, why would you stay?
I wonder if, who was the guy who did all the Yao Ming stuff? Wong?
Wong,
I wonder if he
yeah.
ever stops in. That guy was good. I like that
That
guy.
was amazing.
Honestly, if he was actually from China, he might be dead right now for all we know, right? That would be unfortunate. Whoa. Who the hell are you? Oh, shit. I didn't think that through. Oh, of course he is, right, guy, but that's not really... No, there was a poster on the NBAB back in the day, the forum me and Snacks used to go on, who would make all these rap songs about Yao Ming, and it was, like, actually legitimately really funny.
Yeah, Wong was an all-timer, man. He was beloved.
Yeah. I remember, like, he left the forum after Yao had to retire, and then he came back when Jeremy Lin showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene from Rocky. When Yao died, a part of me died too, but now you're the one. Something like that. Oh my god, this guy has so much HP. Am I under-leveled for this fucking area or something? I'm starting to feel like I'm fucking under-leveled or something. This is absurd. The way I get shredded right now by pretty much every enemy. I don't know. I feel like I'm just... I don't know. I don't feel like I'm leveled right. Alright, that was... No. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave. I don't like this fucking place. I can't do anything. Like, Jesus Christ. Are there, like, literally no teammates I can summon in this game either? Jesus. Like, there's never ever anybody willing to show up and help. Is nobody playing this game anymore? I find that hard to believe.
Wow, this would be insanely easy to meme. It's this Gordon Ramsay video where he's with a professional fishing crew, and they catch some king crab so that he can then immediately prepare a delicious meal of king crab with literally the freshest possible catch. It starts off with hold on. Starts off with, they're big, they're ugly, and they're coming to get us. And memeable. Like, they're big, they're ugly, and they're coming to get us. You could easily put that in a ton of shit, which would be very, very funny. For what it's worth, Scare Crowbar, I have been told a number of times in my life, usually when I have a shaved head, because obviously when I have hair, you know, it's the comparison's hard to make. But I've been told I look like Cuba Gooding Jr.
Me and Snacks have a mutual friend who's been told he looks like John Oliver, which he's not very happy about.
John Oliver, if he wasn't British and faggy and actually worked out.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, I wouldn't be happy about that either way.
Yeah. But I used to hear that comparison more when I was in high school, and that was a long time ago. My skin hasn't been that dark in a long time. Because I was out in the sun all day long, every day. I just spend so much time inside and so much time at night. Skin's so fucking pale. I guess that's something that happens when you're mixed, is that you have the ability to tan really, really well. And you can keep it sometimes, but then other times you just look fucking white as shit. Anyway, be right back. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Ugh.
I haven't had crab in a long time, actually.
What was that?
I said I haven't had crab in a long time, actually.
Crab's pretty good.
Watching this video makes me crave it.
I ate shrimp tonight for dinner.
Not bad.
You know, the phrase jumbo shrimp is an oxymoron. Oh yeah, this fucking place.
Oh, that's Denny's. That's weird. It's very weird. Shit, I don't even know any idea what to say to that. Fuck it then.
Oh, that's fair. I'm Pickle-ree. Wubba lubba dub dub. I did not know about the controversy about the game, so today we're going to be playing the Rick and Morty game. My bad, guys.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Are you kidding me? I can't pick it up? Oh god, I got glitched out of an item, and this is probably a good item too. That is really fucking dumb. I'm not happy about that. No, Scarecrow Bar. The Snacks doesn't look like that. No. Snacks looks like Cuba Gooding Jr., another friend that we have.
Oh,
Snacks does not look like a combination of Cuba Gooding Jr. and John Oliver. No.
oh God.
That would be fucking horrifying.
Yes, that would be horrifying. What the hell with that? Oh God.
That was just another mutual friend that we have. Who has enough self-esteem issues without people telling you it's a fucking John Oliver.
Oh boy, yeah.
I always imagined that Snacks looks like Ned Flanders because of his avatar.
Oh man, if only. And let me tell you, while I'm watching this Gordon Ramsay video, I'm sitting here thinking, this is kind of crazy because as he's talking about the king crab, he's all like, the king crab has no natural predators, and they can breed extremely quickly. And because of their size and their ferocity, crabs generally act as scavengers in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But they're able to be not just scavengers, but also predators. So they can become a huge problem off the coast of Norway, where this video is taking place, because a lot of the, the world's herring supply, the world's sardine supply, and things like that come off the coast of Norway. So there's a lot of fish there that the crabs can kill. So they're talking about how they're a huge problem, and there's just so fucking many of them, and all this kind of crap. And I'm like, if there's so many of them, then why is crab so fucking expensive? King crab, especially.
I would guess it's because it's still dangerous to get them, right?
Presumably, plus the costs in actually transporting them when you get them, because crab, more common kind of crabs like blue crab off the coast of Maryland, where there's just like a shit zillion of them. It's cheap as hell. You can literally go catch your own, out in the bay in Baltimore, but crab might be more expensive further inland, because the only way you'd be able to get it would be expensive transportation costs and so on and so forth. But I'm bringing this up because the whole reason this video is in my recommended is because I was watching a couple other Gordon Ramsay videos earlier, and he was talking about a king crab he's preparing for an event that they're doing in this cooking competition for the contestants to do, and he's all like, by the way, usually a king crab like this at a restaurant will go for about $500. I'm just sitting there like, if there's so fucking many of them, how? Like, if there's such a huge problem, how? Like, there's more chickens in the United States than people. Imagine a $500 chicken.
That'd be one hell of a chicken.
Yeah, you'd sit there and be like, how the fuck is this justified?
Keel oatmeal.
Did you just say Shaquille Oatmeal?
Yes.
Why didn't he ever make that?
He certainly has no problem endorsing everything else in the world.
Exactly. I mean, it's a fucking layup for him to do a partnership with an oatmeal company and then have him call it Shaquille Oatmeal. You whiff on that. My God. Could have done a humongous... I was going to say they could have done a humongous tie-in with Kazam.
If you ever see Shaq in public, you should tell him.
Okay, the next time I'm at a Freemason meeting, I'll let him...
God damn it.
Huh. Fascinating. Oh, I think I understand the Pet Cemetery reference now. Have you been fighting this guy the entire stream?
Basically. A good chunk of it.
Well, the Pet Cemetery movie very famously had a character had his Achilles tendon was cut. So somebody stabbed him in the foot, basically, which is essentially, literally exactly what you're doing right here. So I'm based off of the context clues. I'm just assuming that that's what brought Pet Cemetery
I got
up.
him.
Probably
Kiss
something like
my...
that.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, I killed him, and I got... Okay, I killed him, and I got the item. So that's fine. Okay. That's cool. I can go get that, no problem.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
I was like, if you had to do it over again, I'd have been so upset for you.
Well, actually, I found a strategy that made that not so bad. So even if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't be upset about it. I found a strategy that actually worked extremely well.
Well, that's good.
Okay, yeah, the boss is dead. Excellent. There's no gate. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. I've never seen or read anything Pet Cemetery. In fact, I'm pretty sure the only Stephen King I'm really familiar with is Shawshank Redemption.
Never famously watched the... Well, I think you've probably seen more Stephen King than you realize, because there's a lot of things people don't realize are Stephen King. Like, you watched The Green Mile, didn't you?
Mostly. I've never seen it all the way through at once, but I've seen it.
Even if you've only seen it in pieces, that was still a Stephen King book originally.
Yeah, that's true.
You never saw it with Tim Curry?
No, never into the killer clown stuff.
Right.
Oh, you know, I did see most of The Mist. Wasn't that a Stephen King
Yes.
film?
Yes.
Actually, now that I think about it.
In fact, funnily enough, the ending for The Mist, Stephen King famously said that he wished he thought of that, and I was like, really? Because that was the stereotype, like, I saw that shit coming from a mile away, and so did everybody else in the theater and everyone that I was watching the movie with. Like, everyone saw that shit coming. How did you not think of it?
Okay. Very nice. So, I am going to go grind just a tiny little bit on a giant, and then we'll be good to go. I have read Dolan's Cadillac, and I saw a DVD case for a movie adaptation of it once, but I didn't watch the movie. I was in a plane trade and I saw it on the shelves.
Well, much more interesting than anything Stephen King ever did in his life. I'm watching a guy, his YouTube video right here. He has a interesting idea. He said, "What if forks were made out of salt?" He got the idea because of a Himalayan kind of block thing that they use, that they actually do their grilling on, where they take this big block of salt and put it over a fire, and it stays together, which is amazing enough, but it heats up enough to where you can cook on it. And because it is literally made out of salt, you could just throw the thing right on there, and you don't need to pre-season it with salt, which means that you could spend more of that precious surface area seasoning it with something else. And then the salt is just baked into the flavor of the meat because it was cooked on salt. So it's it's a much more, supposedly, because I've never had it myself, it's a much more fulfilling and natural salt flavoring than just actually seasoning something with salt. So he got the idea. He was all like, "Well, I've got, you know, he got one of those blocks." So he's like, "Let me program into the laser cutter thing here a design for a fork, and then it'll essentially just laser etch out a fork for me from this table block design. And then what if I just use that as a fork instead of an actual fork?" Because his idea is, he's all like, "Wouldn't that be the same thing?" Now, what I'm expecting is that it wouldn't really have what you're eating would imbibe the salt flavor the same way cooking something on the salt block would. But we'll find out. It's a very interesting idea.
That was my first. When Gene Roddenberry told me that idea, that was the first time I really realized how lost he truly was.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need and death. Are you prepared to commit a well. Tell me.
Alright, so we're not going to do that yet, mostly because I'm going to bed now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. But we made okay progress after all. Took a little while. But I'm going to go and get out of here. Thanks for hanging out.